Hi everyone, it's Jennifer Evans and I am getting ready to stencil a scarf with my new snakeskin and crocodile stencils. I've been seeing these patterns quite a lot all over in fashion, accessories, and I'm so excited to be working with a stencil. And I'm also going to fill in here and there with this interesting dots just to kind of unify the two patterns. And what I have collected here is I found this scarf at Blick. It's cotton, and I washed it first, and then I have a set of these textile inks. You have to be careful because this company makes a set of alcohol inks, and you want to make sure you buy the textile version that you can dye. You can use them full on your fabric or mix them with up to 25% water is what the package says. I'm going to be using some sponge wedges to push the color through the stencils, and I'm also going to try a brush. And I'm really wishing that I had a gray. I have pulled the blues and turquoise and violet, but I was really kind of hoping for a gray to mix in here. So I'm going to improvise because that's what we do, right? I'm going to take my palette paper, and I have a fabric marker in black, so I'm just going to scribble that over here and mix it with some water and see if I can simulate a gray color. So I'm going to go ahead and start by experimenting. The instructions on the package say it's best to start from light to dark, and because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use the stencils together, I'm going to start at the back of the, well, what I would consider the back of the scarf, but it's actually when you're wearing it, it would be the back of your neck. So that's where I'm going to start and just see where this goes. So I'm going to open this up and start stenciling and layering the colors and see what I like. And what I like, I'm going to continue around the length, and I'll probably end up dipping the fringe in a dark purple or something, but we'll see once we get there. And then to set the ink, the company says to iron it. It really does need to be heat set. I've used this particular ink with a very good effect on t-shirts. I've stenciled t-shirts with it and then put the t-shirt in between two old towels and ironed it, or you can just throw it in the dryer on a high setting. As long as it's heat set before you wash it, you'll be absolutely fine. So I am going to get to work. One thing I'm noticing right off the bat is the sponge wedge is soaking up a lot of the liquid. And this is a repeating stencil, meaning it will repeat if I line it up and move it. But I'm not going to worry about that so much because the scarf itself has kind of a crinkle texture. And where there's a break in the pattern, see if it gets too watery, it's going to bleed. And I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to use that as an opportunity to fill in with another color or another pattern and layer it. So this is going to need some drying time in between the layers of what I'm doing. But I am just having fun with the fact that I am being a little fashionista here and playing with my stencils to see what's going to happen. I've switched over to using a brush because I'm finding I have more control with the brush than I do with a sponge wedge. And this is also very wet underneath, so I'm tending to mop up the extra just so I don't bleed everything together. I do want as much definition as possible, and that will probably come with not mixing as much water into the ink. This is just one of those things that we learn as we're working with our materials. Don't know until you try it. Now that I have my first layer done, or my first pass through on the scarf, there are some areas that just got too watery, where I mixed too much water into the ink. So it really kind of dissolved the pattern and I lost some of the detail, which I'm really okay with. But at this point, I want to go back and use the snakeskin stencil with almost no water, just working the ink through the stencil at full intensity without watering it down, hardly at all. And because the manufacturer's instructions said to work from light to dark, I'm okay with that. So I'm going to go back in and work mostly with the purple. See, some of these areas really just got too watery. So I'm going to bring back some detail here and there, and I'm okay with not covering every inch of this scarf. I'm just having fun with it, and let's see where it evolves next. So here is where the final product ended up. I put the fringe all in the same blue color, although if I had to do it again, I might vary the color of the fringe just for fun. And it's got a nice watercolory effect. So again, if I had to do this over, I might have watered down one of the inks and dyed the whole thing and let it dry before coming in and adding detail. But I kind of like the puddly look of the watercolors, and all I need to do now is heat set it and wash it, and I will be ready to go.
Thanks for watching. StencilGirl would love to spark even more of your creativity with technique videos and more. Just click on the links below and you're all ready to stencil.